Wichita golf communities. That's what we're going to talk about in this video, and I'm going to go over some of the neighborhoods where you can actually live on a golf course. Now, this isn't all the golf courses in Wichita. This is just a few of the ones to highlight to give you an idea of what's possible for living on a golf course in Wichita, whether you're from Wichita or you're looking to move to Wichita. This is should be helpful to give you an idea of what golf course community neighborhoods we have. So before I get into all that, please do the usual: like, comment, subscribe, share. All that fun stuff helps grow the channel, help the cause, all that kind of thing. And without all that, we'll go ahead and get right into it. So let me share the screen, and I'm going to use our website to give you an idea of what we're looking at, because I'm a visual person. I'd rather just kind of show you on everything. So if you're wanting to look around and look for houses, you can always come on to our website here and go to communities, certain neighborhoods. Because Auburn Hills is one of the golf course neighborhoods that you'd be looking at. So like if you clicked on Auburn Hills, give you an example. Come on, thing. Load. So this is the Auburn Hills area. You can see the green golf course there. And when you click on Auburn Hills, it's not quite everything in there, but you get an idea of, like, this is one of the neighborhoods in Wichita where you can live right on the golf course. Auburn Hills is a public golf course. In my opinion, one of the nicest ones in the area, fairly newer to Wichita. And if you go satellite image, that'll give you another idea of Auburn Hills and what it's like. So that's one of the communities in Wichita that's a golf course community. It's on the west side of town. Here's some different listings that are in there. Market trends. Once you register, you'll get some more of those, but just some different ideas about it all, what it's like. So there's that. But let me get into the back end lead account that give you a better idea of all the golf course communities we have. So switch to satellite view. So there's what I would call, there's basically 2 on the west side, and there's about 7 on the east side. There aren't really much of any golf course communities on the south side. Or really north of town. There's kind of one down in Derby that we'll get into, Hidden Lakes. It's kind of on the outside of Derby, right there. But you're not necessarily really living right on the golf course, and this is really what I'm just considering. There's this neighborhood here that's close to Hidden Lakes, which is a public course, but that's really what the Derby area's got to offer. The 2 bigger ones. Sorry, Ralph, we're going to have to talk later. Uh-oh. Let's get back to what we're doing. So the 2 on the west side is Auburn Hills, like we already showed you there. So if you're zooming into, here's an overview of Wichita. Auburn Hills is over here on the west side, off of Maize and Maple area. It kind of goes through 2 different sections here. Or I'm sorry, not Maize and Maple, 119th and Maple. And it goes across 135th all the way to 151st. You can kind of see where the whole golf course goes through the neighborhood, and there's several houses you can live right on the golf course here. So that's Auburn Hills city course, pretty nice course. Houses in that area range anywhere from 300 to 500,000, just depends on the house itself. And there is another golf course over here called Rolling Hills. It's a private course. And there's a few houses you can live on the course here, just right along these edges here, but not a lot. Really nice golf course, has a lot of terrain. My dad's a member there, been a member there since a kid, play a lot of pickleball there back in this area. But very beautiful course, good course, just not a lot of options for living right on the course if you're gonna want to live right on the course. And then the well-known one for the west side is Reflection Ridge, which you can see is this whole square mile on the west side on 21st and Ridge. You can see the course runs throughout this bottom half of the square mile. So more of these houses are going to be directly on the golf course. These houses can range anywhere from approximately 400 to 700,000. Some of them getting more into near the million mark. Just depends on the house and the location and things of that nature. Now there are some up here that are Reflection Ridge, but obviously you can see they're not on the golf course, but you could easily drive your golf cart to the course from here on the roads to get there. Same with some of these these additions in Northridge Lakes and Fossil Rim Estates. But that's Reflection Ridge. And now keep in mind, if these are some of the golf courses you want to live on, we can set you up with a custom property alert that will just send you houses in these areas. So whether you're in Wichita and you want just golf course houses, we can set that up for you. Or if you're not from Wichita and you really want to live on a golf course, we can set up custom alerts that just send you houses from these golf course communities. So for the west side, you got Auburn Hills and you got Reflection Ridge that are really the two courses you can really live on. Rolling Hills is also on the west side. There's Tex Consolver that's over on the west side too. But again, you can't really live like right on the golf course. You can live near it, but not on it. Tex Consolver is another city course. Reflection Ridge is a private country club. So that one you'd have to be a member at, same with Rolling Hills. So some of these are city courses, some of them are private courses. But anyway, so that's the west side. The other notable golf course is Riverside area, Sims Park. You can kind of live on the golf course here, along here, but there's a road in between it all, and you can see it's fairly closed off. Another city course, pretty nice course. And again, this isn't really to cover all of the courses in Wichita. This is more to cover what golf course communities you can actually live right on the course. Because there's also a McDonald golf course here that's in the center of town that you could live on. Live near, but you don't really live on it. Kind of like the Riverside one where there's some houses along here, street, but you're not technically right on the golf course. So I'm going to start up north here in the Bel Air area where we have Willow Bend. And you can kind of get an idea of how these developments are made if you look at them. You can see the course and the houses that are right on the golf course through here. You can kind of see the square mile that's been developed here with Rock Road running right through the middle. Willow Bend is one of the original golf course communities that first came to Wichita. And I'd have to look when the houses were built, but I want to say like about in the 80s is when they were built. To give you an idea, houses over here range anywhere from 300 to 700,000 as well. To give you an idea of price point. But that's Willow Bend that you could live in on the east side. So that's one of the 7 that are over here. And then if you scroll down, you have Tallgrass that you could live on here. Again, you can kind of see the square mile that it was developed on 21st and Rock area. You can see the course runs through the neighborhood. Some of these are right on the course, some are tucked away, but this is another golf course community in Wichita you could live on. Houses over here, I'd probably say, depending on the house, 300 to 800,000 as far as price points on everything. And you can see all the different neighborhoods that are within this golf course community. So Tallgrass is another one that you could live on. And then what else do we have over here? Wichita Country Club isn't necessarily another one that you can live right on. There's a few along here that back up to it. This is probably one of the most prestigious country clubs in Wichita. This and Flint Hills National, I'd say, are two of the more prominent upscale country clubs to be a part of. Wichita Country Club's off of 13th and Rock. They got a lot of indoor tennis pickleball courts back here that are really cool. But there's Wichita Country Club. You could also be a part of private course. Willow Bend is a private course. Tallgrass is a private course. Let's see, what else do we got out here? So there's those 3 so far. And then we also have Crestview, which is another nice square mile development. You can see how they're developed out here. This one doesn't have nearly as many houses in the development area, but it is a very nice country club. This is where the I'm trying to remember which tour, the Open is played at, and they have a they have a party hole on the 17th hole that's a lot of fun that usually go to every year. And there's a lot of pro players that come through here, and it's a pretty good time. So, but that's Crestview off of 127th and 13th, another private country club that you could potentially join and live on. There's Pterodyne, that's a little bit smaller over here. Pretty nice golf course, but again, not a lot of houses right on it. But Pterodyne's another private country club that you have out here. Runs right along the turnpike there. Very nice course, nice facilities. Just not as much selection for houses right there on the court or on the course. Let's see. So that's those 5. And then there is, where'd Flint Hills Nationals go? Let's see if I can find it. One sec. Flint Hills National is not going to come up. Oh, where'd you go, Flint Hills National? There it is. So Flint Hills National Golf Club. These houses are usually $1 million plus. So it's a little more outside of town. You can see the course runs through it. But if you scroll in and look at some of these estates, you can tell they are much larger, much more established type of estates with a lot of space in between them and much more developed housing mansions, I should say, than, how many houses can we cram on this golf course type of a setup. So that's why you're seeing these ones start usually at about $1 million plus on everything. There are some that are tucked in here a little bit more, but usually a lot of these have bigger estates, bigger houses, bigger mansions is why they're $1 million plus. So that's Flint Hills National. Also another private country club. That gives you an idea of all the different golf course options. Most of them are going to be on the east side. There's a few on the west side. There's kind of one down in Derby. There's not really a whole lot of golf course communities up north of town, but this should give you a pretty good idea of golf course communities and living and what it's like on everything. Hopefully this has helped you learn a little bit more about Wichita in general. If you like more direct consulting, you can always reach out to me directly or one of my team members when you're on the website. I'm sure you'll get correspondence from them. If you just communicate back, we communicate appropriately. We don't hound you and pound you. We just really want to make sure we're providing you, solid, reliable service with all that. So hopefully this has helped you learn a little bit more about Wichita golf course communities. Appreciate you watching as always, and hopefully talk to you soon.